Welcome to YouTube Creator News, where I keep YouTube content creators like you up to date with everything that's happening on YouTube that could impact you as a content creator. So if you make videos for YouTube for any reason, make sure you subscribe. Today, we have some kind of disheartening information, and this information is about content creators being demonetized. And I'm going to tell you how to avoid this situation. I'm also going to tell you about some other things, because there's one that's like a really serious focus. And then I'm going to tell you about some other things related to this policy update that you need to know about as a content creator. So for this, I don't have the green screen like I normally do, but first, just welcome to 2023. This is the first, stream or piece of content on this channel for 2023. Unfortunately, it's kind of like a bad one, right, in terms of the subject matter here. But for this one, I don't have the green screen because I'm actually going to be showing you some things on screen for this. So we're going to go ahead and hop right into that. So the very first thing is that YouTube has made a policy update. And this particular policy update is causing some content creators to be demonetized, unfortunately. And with this, moving forward, these are things that you are going to have to keep in mind as a YouTube content creator. So the very first one that I want to bring to your attention, of course, the thing jumped as I've had it held there for most of the evening here. So the very first thing I want to bring to your attention, because this is going to apply to most people here, is they made an update to their inappropriate language section in their advertiser-friendly guidelines. In this particular one, they say all varieties of profanity are now treated equally, meaning they're not differentiated based on levels of severity. So one word is equal to another word, and they're not ranked in any way anymore. Also, we are not treating words such as hell and damn as profanity anymore. So that's a win, I guess. But they say content where profanity is used after the first seconds the first 8 seconds may receive ad revenue. However, if profanity is used in the first 8 seconds of the video, then it will not monetize. So one of the things that I want to bring to your attention with this is some content creators will have some type of abrasive language. That's just what we're going to call it for the sake of this not being demonetized. So some content creators use abrasive language in their intros and things like that. And if you are one of those content creators, you might have noticed that you are, getting a lot of your ads turned off. And to my understanding, this is also impacting content creators retroactively. So what that means is if you have, anything in the first 8 seconds in your archive, then there's a really good chance that it could be getting demonetized already, or it could be getting demonetized soon. So I've been telling people about this for a really long time in terms of making sure that when you are uploading content to YouTube, make sure that you do, when you can, try to keep it, brand friendly and family friendly for reasons like this, because some content creators are essentially losing everything because of this and a few other things that we're going to be talking about here shortly. So some of the other updates that I want to bring to your attention, they have made some updates to their adult content area, or the adult content, information here. This one isn't really going to apply to most people, but I just wanted to let you know that they do have some updates here based on thumbnails, titles, and videos containing adult links, obscene language, adult material, and sexually gratifying acts may not receive ad revenue. That one's kind of a given. We know that on YouTube, but they say policy enforcement around classical arts depicting sexual activities, sensual dancing, and sexual education will remain unchanged and may receive ad revenue. So they're okay with that. Now, this particular one right here, I want to make sure that I bring to your attention if you make any type of gaming content for YouTube. And I know some of you also do true crime content. And I know some of you, make content where things like this you might need to rely on imagery sometimes to tell your stories, or it just might happen in your game. So this update is about violence in your videos. So they say content showing dead bodies without context, right? If you have context in it, like if you're doing a true crime, then you might be able to slide past this one, or not. But they say game violence directed at a real named person or acts that are created to intentionally shock and disgust in videos showing an implied moment of death will not receive ad revenue. So when they say an implied moment of death, what that means is, let's say that you are, building up to that moment, and then you don't actually see something happening. Like, let's say you're editing your game footage and you don't actually see something happening on screen, but then let's say you hear a shot or something like that to imply that that person, got taken care of, or whatever language you want to use there. That's where you want to make sure that you are going to be careful there, because those videos will not receive ad revenue. They also say standard gameplay where gory injuries are present after the first 8 seconds, non-graphic tragedies and their aftermath, or police seizures as part of law enforcement can receive ad revenue. But the thing I want to bring to your attention is the standard gameplay where gory injuries are present after the first 8 seconds. Now, I know there's a lot of gamers that, as part of their hook, let's say, your game opens up and you're playing Call of Duty and you're just sitting there mowing people down. I don't know if you are going to be impacted by this if it's a part of your intro and it's happening before that 8 seconds. So the rule of thumb that we are going to have to make sure that we are being ultra careful about is that first 8 seconds in your video. That seems to be the sweet spot that they're paying the most attention to. Not really sure why. My guess is just the relation maybe to the ads. After somebody watches an ad, they land in a video, and maybe just they don't want that association being that close. I'm not sure. But the idea is that you need to make sure that you're being extremely protective about exactly what is said and shown in the first 8 seconds of your videos, because that seems to be the threshold where the imagery and where the language is getting impacted in terms of your monetization on your videos. And just in case you are not currently monetized on YouTube, once you get monetized, this is going to apply to you, and this is also going to apply to the content that you're uploading now once you get monetized as well. So keep that in mind. The next thing, as we scroll down here, is recreational drugs and drug-related content. So here, drug use and consumption in gaming may not receive ad revenue. So for those of you that play Grand Theft Auto and similar games, we all know that in Grand Theft Auto that there are those moments where you can have the character do those sorts of things. Now, you have to be extra careful on that. And they say drug dealings or mentions of drugs in gaming content may receive ad revenue. So it's okay to sell it, you just can't use it, according to this particular update. But they also say that they're introducing new guidelines under the Enabling Dishonest Behavior Guidelines. The following content will now be in the scope of this content to earn no ad revenue, which is, and this one's kind of weird, but they say pretending to be a retail store employee without the property owner's permission or violating their code of conduct. And that one I think is extremely weird. I'm not sure why they would put that in there, but I'm guessing there's prank videos or something like that that's going on there. And then they say using or encouraging the usage of hacking software in competitive esports. Now, just as a heads up, I have all of this linked down in the description of this live stream right now. So you can go down and you can, look into all of this yourself, and you can see exactly what I'm talking about, right here. But the idea, or the thing that I want to express today in this segment, is that the very first 8 seconds of your video is critical. But with that said, we've been talking about this for years in terms of making sure that what you're making, that you're thinking long game on YouTube. And the reason that you want to make sure that you're thinking about this is because of situations like this, where YouTube changes a policy or laws change or something like that, that could impact you negatively as a content creator. So if you can, with the type of content that you are putting out, if you are wanting to do this sustainably for a very long period of time, I just recommend that you make sure that you are playing by these guidelines, that you're playing by the YouTube community guidelines, that you're keeping up to date with, all these policy changes. And just when you're making your content, that you're trying to future-proof it by trying to play it as safe as you can within reason. So I'm not saying not to express yourself, but just make sure that you are keeping in mind that some of these things can change and come back to get you later, so to speak. So just keep that in mind, and that's the news. Really quick, if you do want to learn more about YouTube, make sure you're subscribed, but I'll also put a video right here that will help you get started thriving here in 2023. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.